Hi, this is Christopher. The story of Ugg and Thug. Gather around me, children, and let me tell you a story of where money came from. This is the story of Ugg and Thug. A long time ago, long before the discovery of silver and gold, there lived a man named Ugg. Ugg lived in a community of people who prospered well for that time, herding sheep, raising cows, and growing all sorts of grain. One day, while Ugg was fishing in a stream near his home, he noticed a shiny rock exhibiting its countenance through the crystal clear water. Boy, that's a nice-looking stone, Ugg thought to himself as he retrieved it from its resting place. As Ugg pondered on the discovery that he'd made, he wondered what use this pretty rock could possibly have. He decided that although the rock was beautiful, it served him no real purpose, so he just threw it back into the river. Now that he had discovered the existence of the rock, he began to notice that the stream bed where he was fishing was full of the peculiar-looking stone. Ugg's neighbor, Thug, he was a lazy sort, and he spent many a day down by the stream, idly dreaming up ways he could get out of the responsibilities of work that were required of him by the community of people where he lived. One day, Thug noticed a shiny rock that his friend Ugg had simply discarded because it was no use to him. Hey, thought Thug, I bet I could convince Ugg's wife that this pretty stone is worth a mammoth meat pie. Mammoth pies were something Thug loved to eat, but he was way too lazy to make them himself. Thug took the stone and he fashioned it into a trinket, and he gave it to Ugg's wife, who upon seeing it immediately fell in love with its shiny attributes. She made Thug his pie all right, and she couldn't wait to show off her new trinket to her friends. Wow, thought Thug, if Ugg's wife likes this stone so much, maybe all the other women will like one too. I'll never have to make another mammoth meat pie for myself again. Thug went down to the stream bed and gathered up all the shiny rocks he could. And when the other men's wives wanted a shiny trinket like Ugg's wife, their husbands searched in vain for the rocks that Thug had secretly already taken and hid away for himself. The other women were distraught that they could not have a trinket like Mrs. Ugg. These women began to pester their husbands until the pestering became unbearable. The men went to Thug and asked him for some of his shiny rocks for their wives. Well, what will you give me for one of these rocks? Thug asked. Well, I'll build you a fence, said one man, and I'll give you 3 cows to put inside that fence, said another. Soon Thug, the laziest man in town, had the best house, the best barn, the strongest fence, and the best animals in all the community. Thug spent most of his time looking and digging for the now precious stones. The more he found, the less there were for others to find. It wasn't long before Thug made a list of the things for which he could trade his stones. He divided his stones up into groups according to their size. The littlest stones he traded for a cow, a sheep, or an ox. A bigger stone he gave in exchange for a new shed to be built upon his land. And the biggest stones? Well, these he kept for himself, because he knew he could break them into littler stones that he could trade for practically anything he wanted. It came to pass that Ugg's cow died, and Ugg didn't have any way to get milk for his growing children. Ugg asked his wife if she would let him have her trinket so that he could trade it to his brother, whose wife had one but wanted 2, for one of his cows. Reluctantly, Ugg's wife gave up her shiny trinket so that her children could have milk. Ugg took the stone out of the trinket and traded the stone for one of his brother's cows. Ugg's brother, Shrug, took the stone, which was way too big for just one cow, and traded it to another neighbor for 6 sheep and 12 bushels of wheat. Ugg's brother never told Ugg that his wife's stone was worth more than just one cow. He knew his brother needed a cow more than he needed a stone that he couldn't eat, wear, or sleep in. So Shrug decided he had done his brother a favor, and for the favor, he would get more for the stone than what he gave for it. Now this situation went on for some time, and before long the stones were worth much more to the people of the community than any of their other possessions. One wise man set up a little business by the bank of the stream where the stones had first been found. His wise idea was to help people save their stones and get more stones by lending them out to others in return for a bigger stone than what they had borrowed in the first place. When this man lent out a stone that was the size of a walnut, he told the borrowers that they would have to pay him back a stone the size of an apple. When the bigger stone was paid back as agreed, the man would then chip off a little bit of the apple-sized stone for himself and give the person who had deposited his stone in the business a stone which was bigger than that which he had originally deposited. What an easy way to get more stones without finding any or trading anything for them, boasted the man. Since his business seemed to be successful and it originated by the bank of the stream, he called his business the bank. Soon the people of the community were spending far more time figuring out ways to get and trade stones than they were raising things to eat, making things to wear, or building houses. It wasn't long before there were lots of stones lying around that no one could eat, wear, or live in. The people began to die from hunger and the cold outside, or they were killed by someone wanting their stones. Ugg analyzed what had happened to this community, and he called the people together and told them what Thug had done. He explained that Thug had taken advantage of all of them because he didn't want to work like the rest of the community. He made Thug's name known throughout the land as a lazy con artist who took advantage of the people's industry for his own good. His name has been infamous ever since. It wasn't long before Thug killed his own brother for speaking against him, and because of Thug's riches and power, no one dared punish him for what he had done. So you see, children, we invented money. We made it important in our lives. Wouldn't it be a nice thing if we gave everyone just enough money so that they would have a nice house to live in, so that they would have healthy food to eat, to have warm clothes to wear, to have medicine when they were sick, and to be able to go to school and learn everything that they wanted to learn? Money can do these things. Because we invented money, because we control money, we can make money do what we want it to do. Wouldn't you agree, children? But you know why we can't make money do what we want it to do? Because there are too many thugs in this world. The end. The Humanity Party has the solutions.